Imagine perusing Facebook Marketplace, as many of us do, looking for project cars, something that you can get into cheaper than you could if it wasn't broken, something you could put together and flip and make some extra money, or get into cheaper than one that works. And you come across the flagship of BMW. It's a clean car, it's got good miles on it, it just needs work. Or it's a mechanic's dream, which is really a mechanic's nightmare, as I like to call them. Should you buy these late model V8 twin turbo BMWs to put back together?
For the love of God, don't do it!
And I'm hoping that in this video, I can deter every human being on the planet from tackling one of these projects, because there's no way anyone wins. Don't do it. For the 2009 model year, BMW built a brand new 7 Series, the F01 chassis car, to replace its predecessor, the E65 or E66. And they aim to fix most of the problems, or the perceived problems, of its predecessor, mainly in the aesthetics department. The predecessor to this car is one of the most hideous BMWs that has ever existed, and no one could ever change my mind on that. These cars, while not the best looking 7 Series ever, I think the E38 holds that title, it's a step in the right direction. It strides better. However, is it a better car? Well, the car itself is actually a ton better. The interior is so much nicer, the suspension's better, everything is better, except what's under the hood. Now, obviously, power is the name of the game, at least it was back then. And these cars make a ton more power than the predecessor, over 440 horsepower in the base model 2009 7 Series. However, that power comes at a price. The 2009 BMW 750 was the very first BMW in North America with the N63 B44. This is a 4.4 liter, all aluminum, direct injected, Hot-V Twin turbo dual overhead cam V8. That sounds like a disaster. Well, it is. Now, I would like to clarify that this is the first generation of N63, and they are way more problematic than the TU or technical update engines that started several years later. You'll have a lot better luck with those, but they still aren't wonderful. Now, I have torn down several of these engines on the channel, and we've seen a wide array of failures. We've seen rod bearing issues, timing chain guides have fallen apart. We've seen windows on both sides of the block. So these engines can fail anywhere from just a little to a lot. Now, why would you not fix one of these? Because that's exactly why this car is here. This is supposed to have a bad engine. It's supposed to only have like 120,000 miles on it or something close. I haven't powered it up, and that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna kind of check it out, see if it's actually bad. Maybe it's just a starter. It's not gonna be a starter. So this car was sold to us by a dealer that is a good customer of ours. They said that the engine is bad. The starter clunks or clicks, and the car will not start. And he looked into replacing the engine because we have one in stock, and we made him a good deal on it, but it just wasn't worth repairing to him. And you know, dealers have to make money. They're not a charity. There has to be some meat on the bone, and I also have to make money. I can't give things away. So I got him a good deal on the engine, and he still didn't think it was worth it. This car is so nice. The only bit of wear is a little bit on the soft handle. They're all like this. It feels terrible. You can replace that without replacing the entire door panel. This is a pretty basically equipped car. It does need a windshield. It's got some wear here. I hate seeing air fresheners. It's just easier to keep your car clean. But this is really clean. I mean, this is extra clean. Look how fancy this thing is. What's that? Oh, an envelope. I always wanted one of those. There's the tool to get it into neutral because it's all electronic. Oh, it's got a broken rear sunshade. It looks like it does have rear window shade, so it has some options. Let's see what's underneath the hood. Well, we know what's under there. The N63. Let's do some preliminary. Does it have coolant? Can I get this open? It looks like it's empty. No, there's some in there. I can see it sloshing around, but it's low. Gee, I'm sure there's not like a hose or 500 for it to leak from. Let's get that tight. in case this thing actually starts up. That's probably not the last joke in this video. Let's see here. Will you come off? There are the turbochargers. It looks like somebody's been in here doing some things. Hoses are pretty dry though. This is one of those, I like to call them 1 cent cars, because you could throw 100 pennies in the engine bay and only 1 penny is going to hit the ground. Oh, there's a leaf. Better not let that get in the crankcase. Of course, no dipstick. I don't see anything too terrible. Let's go get the jump box and see if this thing powers up. Oh, this thing's even got nice Continentals on it. Somebody cared at some point. Also, if you're going to try to start one of these later model BMWs, make sure you got a big jump box. Those little guys, these cars will murder them. Oh, we got sparks. Let's go see how many miles are on this thing, what the starter sounds like. Maybe we can check the oil first. Oh, it's got less than I thought. 105,000 miles. Parking brake limited. I hear stuff clicking and clacking. Probably like the engine was before it stopped running. Let's see if we can find out. Oh, it's got some faults. Okay. Okay. It's angry, probably because it just was dead. Let's see if we can. Vehicle info. Vehicle status probably. Engine oil level. It is on. Ignition on. It's on. All the lights are out. Wait, is there a check engine light? Hold on. There we are. Oh, do I have to go back through all this? Come on now. I'm glad they make it easy to check the oil. Okay. Okay. Engine coolant level low. Yes, we knew that. Engine oil level. Oh my Lord, stop it. Stop dinging at me. This car's so angry. Measurement inactive. Service interval adjusted. Have the system checked at the next oil change. Boy, if I could just pull a dipstick. Well, let's see what it sounds like when we try to engage a starter. Nice. So that's not a soft click like something minor. Let's try that again. No. That's not a bad starter. That's it's a locked up engine. So not only do you have to struggle to replace the engine, you have to struggle to get the engine to turn over so you can get all the torque converter bolts out. That's going to be a great time for no one. I don't see any more clues. Let's look in the trunk. Maybe there's like some stuff in there. Let's see. What is this? There's joy comes to those who never stand still. Well, this car is standing still, so there's no joy here. Man, if I found the window sticker, I don't see anything. There's a bunch of bolts, so something's taken apart, probably on the bottom. Those are definitely BMW bolts. There's a trash bag, but that's not big enough to put the whole car in. This is a shame. This car would be pretty nice. I mean, this is a sweet ride. Why wouldn't you fix one of these? That's probably what you're asking. Why wouldn't you just put an engine in it? Should I? I mean, I have a perfect running N63 in this 2010 550 GT. This thing's only got 116,000 miles on it, and I think it's had the engine replaced or at least worked on. I remember the history when I first bought it. So you'd think me, a guy that likes to take on terrible projects would take on this one, take the engine out of this, and put it into this. Seems pretty simple. It's a rear-wheel drive BMW. How bad could that be? Well, maybe I'll just pay somebody to do it. Let's just go look at the book time for engine replacement. We'll just go look that up real quick. Let's look up book time here. Removal and installation of engine assembly. Labor time, 17.5 hours. That does not include transfer parts. There's also some while you're in there thing. Let's do complete engine. This is clean and transfer everything, engine mounts. Does not include transfer of manifolds, oil pan, all that stuff, which all this stuff should be done anyway. Oil pan, gasket. So this is 23.5 hours of labor. Now, I don't really believe all of this because it is different on an all-wheel drive versus a rear-wheel drive. The rear-wheel drive is much easier. And here is an X5 with the same engine. There is the engine assembly complete. 25.5, and that's not transferring everything over. You'd probably be 35 hours in labor putting one of these engines in it. And here is a 550 Xi GT. This is, again, not transferring too many parts over, and this is 30 hours. 30 hours. So here is what the engine looks like out of the car. This is an N63 out of a rear-wheel drive 750 or a 550, I'm not sure. It's the same engine. And we've already pulled the injectors out of this one. It's locked up. So there's no real value in taking this thing apart. The all-wheel drive ones have some other parts I can sell. But look how complicated this is. And I know many of you that watch the channel regularly see how these engines come apart and see how many bolts hold them together. But this is what it looks like. Now, keep in mind, it's missing the catalytic converters, the downpipes here. It's missing the coils, the injectors. This harness has been pulled off of here. So this is partially dismantled. Here's your water to air intercoolers. This is where the alternator sits. Intake pipes go here. And anytime you put a used one of these engines in, you're gonna want to reseal the entire thing. So valve cover gaskets. The big one here is gonna be the upper oil pan, lower oil pan, this coolant gasket here. Another one that you wanna do is down here where both of the oil returns fit into the block. There's a block that leaks oil. All of these hoses for coolant feed and return for the turbochargers should be replaced. As you can see, this gets pretty expensive pretty quick. So these cars had several campaigns from BMW. When I say these cars, anything with the first generation N63, the 550, 650, 750, X5, X6, where based on VIN, you get, I think, new injectors, a MAP sensor or MAF sensor, whatever. You get a whole pile of parts to try to fix them. And ultimately, a lot of these engines got valve guide seals. And the problem with that is half the time when that job was done, the engines would lock up shortly thereafter. And it was so much labor to do the valve guide seals that it's only a little bit more expensive to replace the entire long block with a brand new engine. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Oh, look. Another 750. Gee, I wonder what could be wrong with it. Oh, this one needs an engine too. This one actually has 127,000 miles on it, so it made it 22,000 miles further. It's terrible. Now, believe it or not, this car was actually really nice when it first got here, but my guys broke the mirror on it, and I'm gonna throw them under the bus because I'm still upset about it. But this one's pretty nice too. It's got a bunch of junk in it, but these are pretty nice cars. It's trash. Absolute trash. This isn't an anti-BMW video. I'm not here to tell you that all BMWs are trash, even though some of you seem to think so in many of the comments on the videos I put out every week. But I am here to tell you that some BMWs are just a lost cause. Some of them are worth fixing no matter what goes wrong with them, and some of them aren't worth fixing no matter what is wrong with them. And you guys know that I like to take on terrible projects. I'm the worst at it. I pick the worst cars to fix, the hardest stuff. The biggest waste of my time is the best car for me. and I have no interest in fixing this. I paid less than $1,000 for this car, clean title, 105,000 miles on it. It's a beautiful car. And if it was anything else and I had the engine in stock for it, I would definitely fix it. I could put this car back on the road for less than $2,500 and have a great running and driving 750. But I have no interest in wasting a week of my time fixing one of these cars. And this is the easiest one there is to repair. The X5, the X6, and the 550 are all so much harder to work on than this, but they all aren't a great time. None of them are a great time. So many hoses, so many bolts, and it's just not worth it. Imagine paying $150, $200 to $250 an hour at probably what's going to amount to 25 to 30 plus hours to get this job done. And I know many of you are going to chime in and say that you can buy a brand new long block from BMW for like less than $4,000, and that's true. You can buy a brand new engine from BMW because they know they're so bad for less than $4,000, and it's still not worth fixing. It's not. So when you see one of these cars on Marketplace, it looks beautiful and it just needs work, don't walk, run. So I know this wasn't my normal type of video, but I really want to steer people away from bad decisions. That is my whole goal with this channel, is to make cars better for people. And if that means telling them to not buy one of these, then so be it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, I love all the comments, all the feedback, and even the criticism. I love it all. And I'll catch you on the next one.